Hello, everybody. Tracy, Mrs. JDog Flanagan with you here today. I am the co-founder and senior vice president here at JDog Brands. I would like to welcome you back to another exciting episode of Tactical Treasures. Our podcast gives veterans, male spouses, and active military service members a voice in the veteran space to speak about their service, new ways that they're affecting their communities post-service, and a tactical treasure from their past that has shaped their journey in their military career, life, or their business. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Waco Hoover. Waco is an entrepreneur and investor with over 18 years of experience in venture capital, M&A, entertainment, media, and live events. Waco also served in the United States Marine Corps, graduated from New York University cum laude, and completed Harvard Business School executive education programs. Waco is currently an advisor at Founders Factory, a London-based venture capital firm, and serves on the board of Irreverent Warriors. He has advised many global brands, including MGM Resorts, Informa, and Las Vegas Sands Corporation. He was a co-founder and investor in businesses sold to Informa, Emerald, Endeavor Business Media, and OnStream Media. Now, Waco is also the current CEO of Vet TV, an online streaming television network that specializes in producing and distributing veteran and military-themed and focused films and television series. So, wow, that's an amazing bio. Welcome to the podcast, Waco. Thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here, Tracy.
So, I would love to hear about your military experience.
Yeah, so I was in the United States Marine Corps. I was an infantry Marine, so a good old jarhead grunt, a bullet sponge, as I've been accused of as well. Whatever fun joke you want to throw in there. But I was stationed out of Okinawa and Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, and I served smack dab in between the Gulf War and 9/11. And so my AO was all Southeast Asia, and I always describe the military as some of the best and worst experiences of my life.
Wow.
And It's really a privilege to be at the helm of an organization like Vet TV, and contribute to organizations like Irreverent Warriors and some of the other nonprofits we support as well. With my family history of military service, and just lots of friends as well who have their own journeys. Like I said, it's really incredible to be able to be in this position and support everything that the military does.
That's great. Hello, listeners and viewers. Thank you so much for tuning into Tactical Treasures. Today, we're speaking with Waco Hoover. He's a Marine Corps veteran and the CEO of Vet TV. And for everybody who has been wondering where the heck Operation Hidden Treasures Season 1 TV show went, well, don't fret anymore because it is coming back on Vet TV, launching September 12th. And we're going to have some more information further into our podcast, so stay tuned. Vet TV, what an amazing concept. Can you tell us a little bit about Vet TV and what it's all about?
Absolutely. So I can't take credit for starting the business or having the idea. However, a very close friend who was also former captain in the Marine Corps, Danny Marr, it was actually his idea, his baby, that he came up with. He always wanted to be focused on writing and film and television. And when he was at Wounded Warriors Battalion at Pendleton, he saw, and served with these whole host of guys who were in these incredibly dark places.
Mm,
There was the worst of the worst in terms of injuries, in terms of, having lost limbs, burns, just extreme, depression and darkness for their journeys and what they have experienced in the service of their country. And the one thing that really brought them out of their shell time and time again was laughter and camaraderie and being together and laughing at the darkest, most absurd things that you could possibly imagine. For those of us who have all served, we have a pretty dark sense of humor, and there's a range of that, from the dark of the dark to a more mellow version. But that was really part of the idea that Danny got. He's like, what, if I can entertain these individuals who I served with, and just make one person, happier, or improve their mental health, or prevent them from, taking their life through suicide, that's an incredibly special thing. And that was the initial genesis for Vet TV. It was to, through entertainment, to create community, build camaraderie, because all of the research and, data suggests people that are engaged in their communities and with strong relationships kill themselves less, simply put. And so, like I said, while we're an entertainment company, that is our mission, is to improve the mental health and prevent suicide, for the military community.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really great. So, you offer a wide range of entertainment, kind of raw, serious documentaries, right? Um,
Yep.
over the course of the past year. Um, so, what do you think has been the best content? I think that you've produced that has had the most positive effect in the veteran community.
Yeah, so I think that, when you look at our body of work, so one thing that's unique about Vet TV is, in large part, we have produced and distributed all of our own content. It's all original content, almost 70 hours of original content on the platform.
Wow.
And then we're, licensing content as well. But, it's hard to like pick one particular, show that does it, because, we all have different preferences for what we love. I don't know about you, Tracy, but, for me, I love dark comedy, but there's a lot of other stuff on my television at home too.
Yeah.
I think that one thing that's really incredible about, the film and television shows that we've created is that, if you go and look at our app reviews, we've got 10,000 plus 5-star reviews. If you go and look at other organizations, there's virtually none that have that. And if you look at some of these responses, it's a short thesis statement about the meaningful impact that we have made on their lives, because our content is relatable. All of our content is made for those who've served. We don't make content for civilian audiences or those that can't relate. And that's one thing that's special about it, is because it's, like I said, it's relatable, it's authentic, it's raw. Drilling down on a couple pieces of content that I think are really special. One is a recent docu-series that we launched called Let's Talk About the War,
Mm.
as you mentioned, with incredibly raw and very candid perspectives that, quite frankly, I don't think most people have really ever seen, particularly if you're thinking about, the civilian world. We want as many people to be able to see this piece as possible, because it's all about their experience serving in Afghanistan. It's their stories. And, the parallels to Vietnam, and, what we did there and how we left, that country, they're starkly similar, and which is, and to see people who've given their lives, their friends' lives, and just to have that exit, which, was nothing short of a debacle objectively. And so there's a whole huge range of emotions that people are feeling. Why did I even serve in Afghanistan? What did we accomplish there? But the
True.
reality is there were some amazing things that we did, for, different parts of that country, that community. But it's really, really hard to see that and put that in perspective when you lost some of your best friends, or you gave part of your body, or you lost your life for that.
Yeah.
And that show, like I said, is incredibly special for that. But you're going to ask a question, I think.
I was just going to say, so, I mean, would you recommend the civilian population? I mean, anybody can become a member, right, of Vet
That's
TV.
correct.
I mean, is it okay for us civilians to join and watch the content? I mean, obviously, understanding what we're watching is probably going to be eye opening. And
No, absolutely. We strongly encourage that. In fact, about 8% of our subscribers are civilians, and
oh
we've
wow,
never, marketed to civilians ever. As you know, America, we, support, the military tremendously, and it's, one of the most iconic kind of segments within our population in terms of recognition and appreciation. So people have a huge affinity, but also a tremendous interest to look behind the curtain for,
sure.
the authentic nature of what it's like to serve, our subculture that
Hmm.
exists, which is very strong. And so being able to showcase that for those that want to look at it, I think is important. But,
Yeah.
for let's talk about the war, the docuseries. It's important for people who have never served or don't have close family members who have, to understand the reality and the truth of what, our warriors go through, and when they do come back, how what that can be like transitioning back to a, civilian life, because all the skill sets and the things that we acquire while we're in service to, be combat ready, it don't necessarily lend themselves to a happy, fantastic life as a civilian,
Sure.
as a brother, as a husband, as a mother, all those things.
Right.
So we think that's an incredibly powerful piece that's very serious. But we have another show that's much more on the comedy side, dark comedy, that's incredible too,
Hmm.
and that's called A Grunt's Life. And we launched that several years ago, and it's to this day been one of our most popular shows. It follows a Marine lieutenant in Afghanistan, and it really shows the struggles and you could call it the atrocities, but also just the psychological challenges. I'm being kind with my words, in terms of what that does for our service members. And then we just earlier this year over the summer released Grunt's Life season 2 as well, which
Hmm.
the truth that's grounded in that, even though it's really really dark comedy, is something that is really incredible for our combat veterans to see and experience.
Yeah. I know just being in the veteran space the way I have as a civilian, but a huge patriot, I'm, humbled by, the service members that I meet. And when I hear their stories, what they've been through, it is very enlightening. And I think it's important for the civilian world to understand and get to know what our service members go through really to protect our freedom. I think it's very important. So yeah, it's great stuff that you're bringing all of this to light. Um, Although I understand that you have another really exciting show that you're getting ready to debut, and I'm so excited about it. So
we,
yeah,
we,
just I'm a little partial. It's our Operation Hidden Treasures show, so
yes,
we're
yes.
really really excited to be joining your lineup and to be partnered with you guys for this venture. And so, what drew you to Operation Hidden Treasures? Because obviously, it's just a little different than I think your normal content. We're kind of a feel good show. We showcase, what our JDog franchise owners are doing, post service and how they're serving their communities. A little different than what you're used to.
So part of our mission is to inform, inspire, and entertain the military community. And I think this show kind of checks all of the boxes with that, is one of the reasons why we were so excited to have this on our platform and work with you and your amazing team to release this actually on September 12th. So coming up very, very soon.
Yes.
And then it's going to be running for 10 weeks from then all the way through the fall. So, when you think about like the show and what it does, there's humor, it's feel good. It's also a veteran owned business that's
Mhm.
done extremely well. And another part of our mandate is to celebrate the military experience.
Mhm.
And again, we think that what you and Jerry, what you guys have created with your business, and then all the franchisees and the entire team is extraordinary. And telling those types of veteran stories, I think sometimes gets overshadowed with all of the challenges that we deal with post service.
True.
And there's some great groups focused on entrepreneurship and venture building, but I think that's we can do a lot more of that in the private sector for the military.
Mhm.
And again, like I said, what you guys have done is really incredible. And just each show going through, the series with the franchisees, going in and like the interaction with them, just the camaraderie, the humor, and then actually taking these hidden treasures and actually delivering them to other veterans who are in need or could benefit from that is amazing. And seeing the direct impact, it's not just writing a check, it's actually telling a story of the direct impact and how sometimes these very small things can be life changing and incredibly important and impactful in someone's life. And that to me is one of the special things about the show, is that story arc there. And again, just like I said, shining a spotlight on the different veteran brands and nonprofits that also worked on the show with you.
Yeah.
Jim, the producer, was incredible with his background and everything he's done. So it's we love the story about how the genesis for the show, how it came to be, the story. And, one thing that's going to be a lot of fun about it is it's a different style of show than we historically release on the platform. And
Mm,
that's one of the reasons why we're so excited about it. If you think that you can't watch, some of the shows with your wife, partner, or children, this is a show you can sit down and, watch.
yeah.
You can, before the family gets home, you can watch a really dark, crazy show about your military experience, but then you can put on Operation Hidden Treasures and, sit down on the couch in front of the TV and enjoy it with your family.
Yeah.
So, lots and lots of reasons why we're really pumped to be work with you and distribute this.
Yeah. Yeah. We're very excited to be working with you guys too. And, being able to, just showcase the show again. There's so many people that have been wondering, oh, I didn't get a chance to watch it. Now I want to watch it and I can't find it. Well, September 12th, Vet TV, everybody. Listeners and viewers, hello. You've been listening to Waco Hoover on Tactical Treasures podcast here. He is a Marine Corps veteran and the CEO of Vet TV. So I know the burning question is, where the heck did season 1 Operation Hidden Treasures go, right? Well, fret no more, everybody. It is coming back to TV, launching on September 12th on Vet TV. And we have a special code. The code is JDog, JDOG, to get your first month of Vet TV for free. So that's where you will be able to check it out. And every Monday, they will launch another episode ongoing for 10 weeks. So if you missed season 1, here's your chance to check out Operation Hidden Treasures. It's an awesome TV show produced by Jim Melio, the creator of The Dog Whisperer, for many years. It was awesome being able to work with him. And alongside Operation Hidden Treasures, you can also stream a wide range of entertainment content on Vet TV, such as the incredible series V for Valor and Let's Talk About the War. Go to veterantv.tv to subscribe and join today. And using that code, your first month will be free. And then it's only $4.99 a month to continue watching. So check it out. So now we come to your treasure. So I'm really excited to hear about it. I understand it's very special.
So mine revolves around compassion and forgiveness. And as a service member when I was in the Marine Corps, even as a young entrepreneur, those weren't two things that I really focused that much on at all. And if I could write a letter to my younger self, it's something that I would absolutely say, hey, pay attention to this. It may not seem like it matters now, but it will serve you in all of your relationships so much more than you can possibly know as a young person. Because perspective is incredibly important. Our experiences teach us so much, and that's really what these two things are. And it's benefited me in not just my personal life, relationships, but also in business. More than you can know as well. Like I said, compassion, forgiveness are kind of these. They can come across as these like soft, kind of, just very soft words. And well, like how does that work? As a leader, you have to be strong and lead from the front, and never show weakness. Well, quite frankly, I think what I've learned in over the past 2 decades now is that those are the obvious things to do, but the compassion and forgiveness piece are the less obvious ones, and perhaps they may even be the most important ones. At the end of the day, when you balance that with leadership and leading from the front. And mine really stems from my relationship with my father. And he did 2 tours in Vietnam in the 82nd Airborne. And it was, looking back on it, and my childhood and family, it really did a number on him. We understand what Vietnam veterans went through. He saw really, really, dark, horrible things. And when he came back, he wasn't welcome with open arms, and that was really hard for him. And so when you look at, what he had to go through, and then, he married my mom and had us 2 boys. I have a younger brother, Wyatt, 3 years younger than me, and my brother and I are extremely close. But him not focusing or even knowing that there should be a focus on mental health or PTSD at that point in time cost him his marriage. It cost us, having a much closer relationship with him in our childhood. And it wasn't until I actually joined the Marine Corps that I started to really understand more wrinkles of him and who he was.
Right.
And it's not that I could even fully appreciate the experiences he had because I didn't have those experiences, but I started to, develop empathy, and I could understand, oh wow, this is why my father, was the way he was.
Mm.
And he really, talking about somebody who was just kind of rock bottom, ended up, getting involved in AA, and was almost 30 years sober, and was incredibly impactful on, other people's lives that I didn't even know about, but I'll speak more to that a little bit later. But, looking at how my father evolved as a person, like halfway through life before he passed away, holy shit, pardon my French. It
Yeah.
was absolutely extraordinary, because we're all, it's relative. All of our journeys are relative. If you find yourself homeless, without anything, with a substance issue, and you're able to pick yourself up and take yourself out of that, that's a lot harder to do than being born into a really great family with all of the support and mentorship that you could possibly do, and then go on to be a doctor, start a business. You're starting from not even zero. You're starting with just like chained down to the ground. And so, I have for the longest time, I didn't respect my father for so many reasons because of, how he grew up, what he did to the family.
Mm.
But as time went on, I realized that, he's just a human. He's flawed like everybody else.
Mm.
And as I got more and more involved in the military community, I started to understand more about why people are built the way they are, why they will act the way they are. And, for me, I had to develop, more patience with that. If you want to support veterans, in many instances, if you want to support our military community, we have to also be willing to do it when they come home and when they're transitioning, because
Sure.
that experience is nothing like, anything that the vast majority of civilians experience. And so, for me, understanding that I needed to have compassion and approach my dad from a way of compassion if I wanted to have a healthy relationship with him, and forgive the things that he did when we were younger, drinking, and, just stuff he did to my mom, and not necessarily being there for us. It was that journey worked for me. Not saying it's going to work for everyone else, but it
Sure.
worked for me. And I know that I am in a much, much better place now, because before he passed away, both my brother and I were able to hold his hand and say, "Hey, Dad, I love you." And that is a really, really tough thing to live the rest of your life if you don't have that closure. And again,
Yeah, sure.
we were very, very fortunate to be able to do that. But to me, like, over the past, it's been a decade, almost a decade since he passed. Um, Compassion and forgiveness are two things that have been extraordinarily, like I said, important in my life because of the experience that I had.
Mm.
Again, not saying that everybody has to do that. It's not going to be the same for you, but for me, um, that is my biggest hidden treasure that I think is not obvious, that I don't talk about all the time.
Right. Well, that's really special. Thank you for sharing that with us. And it's a shame because Vietnam was a tough war, and you're right. I mean, back then, they didn't understand PTSD. They didn't understand, what our veterans went through and how to help them with resources. So, unfortunately, I think a lot of them suffered and their families suffered as well. And it's a shame. But, um, speaking about, the compassion and the forgiveness, those are, and, like you say, a lot of people may think that that's a sign of weakness, or but I don't think it is. I think it's the exact opposite. I think it's a sign of being powerful, and owning power, just because they're emotions that aren't easily looked at, like you said. And I think that people, I think, hide those particular emotions because they think that they're weak, but they're really powerful, and when you
I,
can
I,
extend
I
that,
agree. And,
makes a
it's
difference.
in the military, we always think of heroism and valor on the battlefield.
Sure.
But, once you come home, the most heroic thing we may ever do is actually ask for help.
Mm.
for our
Right.
friends, for our family members, the people that care about us. Because once you get too far down that path, and taking your life is permanent. And
Yes.
again, unless we have the strength, as you said, to raise your hand and ask for help, it's really hard. And that's
Mm.
something culturally in the military that I think over the next decade plus we really need to work hard on is shifting that culture.
Mm.
And it's a really hard thing to do, but I think we need to reshape how we approach mental health, because at the end of the day, mental health revolves around our brain and chemistry. And if you break an arm or something else is wrong with your body, what do? We send you in for an MRI. We do a bunch of tests. We have a very unscientific way about how we think about the brain.
Yeah.
If your alignment's off in your car, or you need your oil change, or your tires are messed up, what do? You have that inspected, you change it.
Right.
Why
Sure.
don't we treat mental health the same way and take a much more scientific approach? And if we did that, I think we would come a lot closer to destigmatizing the notion of weakness with mental health, and the
Hmm.
willingness for people to raise their hand and say, hey, I need help. I need help because I'm not right in the head. And guess what? The sooner I get there, the sooner I'm going to be combat ready.
Right.
Or the sooner, if you're a veteran, the more effective you're going to be for your family. So
Sure.
I think that's something that is going to be really interesting as time goes forward. And I think it's cultural. I think there's certainly a lot of science and research from the medical community that'll focus on that. But
Yeah.
I personally believe it starts with culture.
Right. Yeah. I believe you're right. I really do. Um, and yeah, and I think I one thing that I think is really great to see is I think there are a lot of organizations now that are really kind of zoning in on that mental health issues with veterans and service members, like Irreverent Warriors. And the JDog Foundation, we're partnered with them, and watching them do great things and trying to help and sponsor and support them any way we can, because that piece is so important. That what you talk about, that camaraderie, that talking about things with your fellow brothers and sisters that served, and being just socializing with a group of people that continue to embrace you and understand exactly what you're all about. So all those things are just very, very important. And I guess my last question would be: is there anything else that you'd like to say to military service members and veterans out there who are struggling?
I think that social connections save lives. And I think that the more as a military community that we can focus on that, I think that's going to be extremely beneficial, not just for anyone who's struggled, but for somebody who's looking to start a business, for somebody who wants to start a nonprofit, for somebody who wants to understand, hey, how did you deal with this issue with your spouse, or your kids? One of the reasons why we love what we do at Vet TV is because we're working on programming that isn't out there right now. I mean, there's what
Right.
television show exists that is for mill spouses that can actually be remotely relatable about their experience, deployments, moving. For my wife now, if I'm gone for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days for a business trip, like that sucks. I don't like to be away from the house and the family for that long. But you know what? For active duty military, you're gone for months at a time.
Yeah.
And so to me, we're really excited about what we're doing to create shows that are relatable, that speak to us and our service and our families and our friends that have been impacted by it positively or negatively. And one other thing I'll mention is, we're working on developing a show that's really focused on the Vietnam era veterans,
Mm.
and how do we connect that community with GWAT veterans. So many parallels to that conflict, but one group was welcomed home with open arms and celebrated, or another was not. And
Mhm.
being able to facilitate that connection, I think the more we can do that, it is going to be something that's incredibly, incredibly powerful for our community.
Yeah. There are times where I wish somehow we could go back to, figuring out a way to have welcomed home our Vietnam veterans. It's just so sad, but unfortunately, what's done is done. You can't go back and
Right.
change it. And I guess now the focus is going forward. How do we recognize them? How do we make them feel like their service was not in vain, and that we honor their service. So a lot of things I think being done going forward to try to rectify that wrong, but still a road we're walking, right?
Exactly.
But well, thanks so much for coming on and sharing all that you did with us. Your treasure is very special, and I think definitely awesome words of wisdom that anybody can take away and incorporate into their life as well. So we look forward to Operation Hidden Treasures and the launch on the 12th, and
Yes.
really excited to knock it out of the park with your audience. We're very excited, and hopefully get some more new members for Vet TV. I know I'm excited to
Thank you,
join.
Tracy. Yeah, we're really excited about the launch, and can't wait for the next 3 months of collaborating with you guys and the release and the schedule. We're gonna have a lot of fun and telling the story.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be great. Well, thank you so much for joining us and taking time out. I know you're busy, but I really appreciate you being on and telling your story.
No, it was a pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Waco. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you, listeners and viewers, for tuning in to this exciting episode of Tactical Treasures podcast, where we spoke to Waco Hoover, a Marine Corps veteran, and also the CEO of Vet TV. So we are so excited. We have been talking about this relaunch of season 1, Operation Hidden Treasures. Yes, for all of you who didn't get a chance to watch it or just want to rewatch it because it was such an awesome show, you can check it out on Vet TV, launching September 12th with episode 1, and continuing every Monday for additional launch of a new episode for the next 10 weeks. Using the code JDog, JDOG, to get the first month of Vet TV for free, and then it's only $4.99 a month after that. So check it out. Don't forget, watch Operation Hidden Treasures, launching September 12th. Thanks for listening and viewing. See you next time.